Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First and foremost, salutations, salam and, shalom to my brothers that, what I'm saying, are Hebrew Israelites and, maybe follow the Hebrew faith and things like that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, like all that sectarianism and crap needs to stop, man. We need to come together, man, because people of faith all over the world were being, the onslaught on our values is overwhelming. We're being forced to compromise our beliefs to fit in on a constant base, at least here in the West. And they're kind of also exporting it to other countries that are more, I guess you could say, traditional in that sense. So, I think we need to get over who's right, who's wrong, who's misguided, who's not misguided. Like, we need to chill out on that for a whole minute and kind of like realize what we got in common together, especially people of the book, the Abrahamic faiths. Other faiths, don't get me wrong, they're good people too, but especially like polytheism and things like that, I really can't roll with that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. That being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful day, inshallah. I just came back for a run. Actually, I'm a little famished. I've been eating not too well the last couple of days. I've been, believe it or not, having waffles and pancakes for dinner. I will lie. I don't know what it is, what it's been lately, but I think it's because the pandemic happened and I haven't gone out to eat breakfast anywhere in a long time. So I don't know. I get random cravings. But anyway. Topic. Make wudu and offer salah, real quick and stuff like that for Asr. But anyway, what's the sellout? And I think that I'm considering the sellout. Art talked about the sad rapper last time, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I've already done 2 videos on the cat. Pretty much you already know where I stand on that. But let me go to other people that I think I should also get the boot, if you will. And one of them is Tamika Mallory, who's been one of the biggest activists in the last couple of years for the Black Lives Matter movement. And she had a lot of hip hop rappers, one in particular, my son, who's actually a pretty talented guy, but she had him drinking the Kool-Aid and going along with whatever she was doing. And honestly, to me, it kind of seems like they're dating because whatever she's at, he's there too. And it kind of looks like they're vibing together, kind of like that. But yeah, man, Tamika Mallory, she actually has some good people backing her. She was actually cool with Farrakhan, and people have their views on Farrakhan and the Nation and stuff like that. But Farrakhan, the Nation and does have a lot of ideas I don't agree with, but the way they stand for Black men and Black people, I think is a really beautiful, powerful thing for a Black, like especially a Black patriarch that doesn't compromise his ideas for feminism, doesn't compromise ideas for any or deviation, if you will, to satisfy the liberals, or the conservatives. He stays in his lane. He's like, hey, here's where I stand. I've been consistent throughout the years. I'm not changing it, So that being said, Tamika Mallory recently, she did a Cadillac commercial. And I think this is really telling, right? I never thought in this day and age I would see something like that. Like wow, like where have we gone? Like, what is a Cadillac? It's already a stereotypical vehicle for Black people, right? Like, Escalade, and how, people, rappers and hip hop guys always rap for, Cadillac, and they got Cadillacs in their videos and stuff. What does that have to do with social liberal activism? And another thing, you ever notice a lot of these things is that I think is personally disgusting. You'll never see any race of men or any race of people say that their women are the vanguard of the progress of their people. When actually, if you look statistically, we've been a matriarchal society in the melanated community here in the U.S. for so long. And unfortunately, if you look at it, especially Black males have been falling behind as far as, access to education, high conviction rates and things like that. And it's kind of like to just put one gender as being the forefront and the most important thing of your people. And just blatantly, it seems blatantly disrespectful to the thousands upon, actually, the millions of Black men who put their lives on the line, for Black people, man. And this is the thanks they get. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like to us, like whenever I see the civil rights movement and stuff like that, they always, to me, at least to me, even the Panthers, they always had like in the sense of like, oh, they were, leftists and stuff. So they kind of went out of their way to be like, oh, this isn't about the black man versus the black woman, or this is that we're into this together. And, we're against this system, X, Y, and Z, right? There's a lot of female leadership and stuff like that, especially if you look at the black church. The black church is female leadership is very high value in the black church. Yes, the pastor may be a man, but I mean, the people that are running the whole show often are women, right? Pastor's wife is very important, right? And then now you got literally just people just spitting on black men. I mean, even like I've even had peers even go like, black man this, black man that. And then especially when people have the audacity to say that in front of non-black people, like that says a lot. Like for me, for instance, right, I will never I have issues with the so-called community, right? But I will never say and have these conversations with anybody that's not melanated, right? Anybody that's not, from the African-American community or African community or whatever like that, right? I'm not going to do that. I have enough self-respect not to do that, because it's a sign of weakness. Like I've never had an Arab man come up to me and complain about his woman. I never had a Pakistani man come and complain about his woman. I never had a white guy come up and complain. Well, actually a couple white guys, they complain about the feminism a little bit too, but the feminist complaining stops after a little while, because a lot of those girls that really espouse those ideas, they chill out and they want to get a husband eventually. So they'll put it to the side in order to get that bag eventually, right? But yeah, like it's sickening the state of my community, right? And you're selling, what does social activism, oppression have to do with, especially like I know the same people like her, the BLM people, right? They're Marxists, right? They're openly Marxist, right? Marx wasn't a big fan of capitalism, right? That was like the whole point of socialism and communism is a direct reaction to capitalism. It is the antithesis of freaking capitalism. It hates capitalism. It is the nemesis of capitalism, right? And the fact that you really we live in a time where people can say, "Oh yeah, they'll throw the red banner and behind behind their agenda, right?" But at the same time, they're trying to sell Cadillacs, which honestly you shouldn't be buying anyway, unless you have a big family or something like that. It's just a luxury SUV. You don't really need that. I mean, look at the state of the economy. Like we're trying to sell Cadillacs in a pandemic. Are you freaking kidding me? That's so disgusting. You're trying to sell Cadillacs in the middle of a pandemic. Like a lot of your people in your community, they can't even afford a Cadillac even when they did have a job. There's people out of work. They're worried about if they're going to even pay rent. And you're just putting out there like somehow because, there's an administration change or something like that somehow, also in the middle of the freaking trial of George Floyd, and I've already said my opinions about that. But, the timing couldn't be any better, right? Like they couldn't just wait to do this. And, you got to see through the blinders, man. See through the blinders. Don't be afraid to question things. You can question if people have the audacity to question the existence of God, right? Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People don't believe in God. People don't believe in this. They don't believe in that. They think it's all fairy tales and stuff. But you will believe so many backwards or so many so-called progressive ideas that literally somebody wipes their butt and then freaking spells out a couple words and they say this is what it is, or this is something that you should believe in, and you run with it. Why? Because the talking heads on the TV screen tell you it's real. You get your favorite celebrities to back it up, and you don't even question why you believe it. And then on top of that, then they get academia to roll with it, right? Academia starts shoving it down your throats when you go to college. You cannot take a degree where you don't get indoctrinated into some kind of ideal that goes against all your beliefs and values. Now, it's good to have your beliefs and values challenged. I'm not saying that. But literally they're saying, oh, hey, you're not going to pass this class unless you acknowledge X, Y, and Z. Like you have that knowledge that we're right and you're wrong. Right? So, that was this is a quick video, man. I don't want to run too long, man. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Some people come in and come out or whatever like that. But yeah, this is as a final note, what is a sellout? To me, a sellout is somebody that espouses all this virtue and integrity and things like that, a part of social change and activism and integrity and honesty, right? But then when they get a chance to display The exact opposite of that for monetary gain. They're so disingenuous with their intention, they eventually like cave to it, right? Because let's be honest, social activism isn't profitable. It's not. That's why I was really questioning, like, well, like I remember like people were just donating all this money to BLM. I'm like, where's this money going? Where's the paper trail? Are BLM building new playgrounds and schools in the ghetto? Or BLM providing affordable housing and buying up land to support, struggling Black families? Are BLM providing jobs to people? Ask yourself this, man. Ask yourself. Social activism isn't supposed to be profitable. It's not. You're supposed to do it out of the genuine kindness of your heart. Like MLK, he was a pastor and he made a little money, but he got a lot of support in fundraising, right? He didn't live a lavish lifestyle. He was a very humble man, and he died that way. Malcolm X too. A lot of the Panthers, the civil rights activists, man, they weren't rich men. They weren't rich people, and now they make it out to be like, it's so disingenuous that you're doing this to maybe your intentions from the beginning. Let's say, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, like, in the beginning, you actually cared about X, Y, and Z, but you got corrupted by the same system that you complain about. You know what I'm saying? And there's a long history of this happening, man. And that's why you gotta be wary of these so-called leaders, man. Like, what makes you a leader? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard of anything you did until about a year or two ago. Then all of a sudden, you're the forefront of this and that. I never heard of you in a single day in my life, but now you're the freaking spokesperson for an entire race of people. Freaking ridiculous, man. Like that's like me being the spokesperson of the entire Ummah in America. Like as a revert, a revert of 7 years. I'm speaking on behalf of all the whole entire Ummah. Granted, there are some reverts actually pretty knowledgeable, like brother Hamza Youssef, but Hamza Youssef, he did studying, he put in a lot of work, and he really started becoming a name for himself until like the latter years of his life. So, and he's still alive. I'm saying, my lost my while, grabbed him Jonah. He's a great scholar. I really love his material. But that being said, man, I'm sorry I'm probably talking real fast because I got a lot of these things. I just wanted to get this off my chest before I get caught up in the day. But thank you so much, guys, for your support. I really appreciate it. I know it's going to start getting more traffic on this channel, more likes and discussions are happening. That's why I want the space to be. Let's chop it up. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.